So after spending way too much money on my Utopia of the Seas comp a couple of months ago, I was looking to be much more frugal on Grandeur of the Seas. How did I do? Hey, what's up? It's Chris Fantini, and I went hog wild on my Utopia of the Seas comped cruise a few months ago. I racked up $1,176.86 of expenses on a 3-night cruise. That's way too much for somebody who's trying to cruise a lot, cruise cheaply, and cruise on comps. So I was really looking to turn that around on Grandeur of the Seas, a 4-night out of Tampa. As always, I had a really good time on Grandeur of the Seas. For that 4-night cruise, the list price online is $656 if you are a single in a double room. Of course, I didn't pay any cruise fare because it was a comp from Casino Royale. I've got a lot of videos on my channel on how you can get these comps. Just go check them out. All right, let's find out what I spent on Grandeur of the Seas. So before I even got on the ship pre-cruise, I paid my port fees and taxes, which were $89.74. I prepaid my gratuities, which were $72. I paid my Wi-Fi, which was $118.93, for a grand total of $280.67 before I got on the ship. Then getting to the ship, I paid $10 in gas because I cruised out of the Port of Tampa. And for parking, I paid $63. Parking at the Port of Tampa is still pretty cheap compared to all the other ports in Florida. Grand total, $73. So on board the ship, I spent $0 on gambling. If you want to see how my gambling session went, there is a video on my channel. It's the latest one before this one. Go check it out. It was pretty interesting. My folio balance. So this is going to be everything like tips that I paid on bills. I bought more cigarettes. I still haven't quit smoking. I know I'm terrible. Additional drinks, specialty coffees, that sort of stuff. $58.35. And I brought $100 worth of cash tips on the ship as well. Grand total for that, $158.35. So what's the grand total of everything I spent? Pre-cruise was $280.67. Travel, $73. On board, I spent $158.35. for a grand total of $512.02. Much, much better than Utopia of the Seas. Let's do a comparison. So, on Utopia of the Seas, yes, this is embarrassing. I spent $1,176.86. It was a 3-night cruise. So my spend per day was $392.29. On Grandeur of the Seas, I spent $512.02. It was a 4-day sailing. So I ended up spending $128.01, which is way better than obviously I did on Utopia. All right, so I think it's mission accomplished. I did much better on Grandeur. I was much more disciplined. Let's break down the kind of things that made it a lot more economical for me. So first of all, travel. I didn't have to go to Port Canaveral. Gas was like $100 there and back. Parking is more expensive at Port Canaveral as well. Also, I didn't spend any money on specialty dining or anything like that. Me and my friend Jess wanted to do some specialty dining, so I did, foot the bill for that on Utopia. But generally speaking, I don't see the value in it. I like the regular food just fine. I'd rather, save money if I'm going to go on a lot of cruises. So generally speaking, I don't do specialty dining. The big one was obviously gambling. I ended up being completely even on Grandeur, which was a big win for me. On Utopia, I could have done much, much better, but I had a couple of nights of bad decisions and I ended up spending like a big chunk of that $1,100 was on gambling when I could have saved a lot. If I wouldn't have my $300 onboard credit on Utopia, that would have been, almost $1,500 I spent. So I guess that is a silver lining there. So yeah, I proved to myself I can, cruise for a lot less. $128 a day net for cruising. I can deal with that. If I'm gonna continue to spend between $100 and $130 per day on a cruise, I can easily do like one cruise a month without, getting into too much trouble, especially considering, my YouTube channel is monetized now. So, I'm not making a ton of money from YouTube, but I do appreciate the views because it does help subsidize some of this. And I want to keep bringing you this content because hopefully you find it useful and you like it. So the last video in the Grandeur of the Seas series is coming out next week, and that is games that I recommend you play on Grandeur of the Seas to earn more tier credits, to improve your ADT or Theo, which in turn will earn you more free offers. I did a similar video to this last time I was on Grandeur, like about 4 months ago, and the list has changed. So you can see that video. I'll put the link in the description, and then you can see the comparison when the new video comes out next week. Thank you so much for watching.